Beautiful and bliss. I hope everybody, well, I pray everybody is staying focused, positive, and productive, and that you all are feeling highly favored, handsome, beautiful, and blessed. I pray that everybody is feeling good mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Definitely spiritually, emotionally, and physically, because if you ain't feeling good spiritually and emotionally, that shit will play on you physically. I pray that everybody has a hedge of protection over their individual bodies and the vehicles that they're traveling to and from on their journeys, giving y'all grace and mercy and longevity over y'all lives, making sure y'all get to and from y'all destination safely. But I want to get into it. Everybody, y'all know, make sure y'all like, support is free. So make sure y'all like my shit because I'm funny as shit. Okay? Check out the skits, check out the music. All on all platforms, got videos here. Y'all know I be getting into them 2211 herbs. You know what I'm saying? Like that up with the organics, you know what I'm saying? Growing these good locks back and stuff and making sure that your health, you understand what I'm saying, provide you some wealth. So if y'all want to check that stuff out and get more personal and nebby into my life, follow me on IG at Blanche underscore Monroe, or you can follow me at Blanche Monroe on Facebook. But you know, the music and the skits is here, so like, share, comment, support is free. Today I'm coming. Y'all know I like to give little messages and stuff. I live my life through my point of views, through my music. You know, my testimony is my brand. Shero, saving one spirit at a time. You get what I'm saying? Just sending love, light, and life. So I said busted and fucking disgusted. So don't get up on here judging me. Go judge your fucking mom, your baby dad, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your side chick, your side piece, your jump off, your sneaky link, your, for fucking Christ's sake, your kids. You get what I'm saying? Your kids, your great aunties and uncles and them, your fucking dead ass people, because I'm about to smoke on them because I'm telling you, don't come here judging me. Judge your funky ass family. Okay? Mind the matters that pays you, okay? Don't come minding my business. Mind your mom business. If this doesn't resonate with you and it ain't for you and you don't like what I'm selling you or pitching to you or dropping on you, scroll, please. Do not come up on here trolling because I ain't got time to entertain that shit. For the people who do love, like, I will be commenting on you, responding back to you guys, but it's going to be random because I got this word that I want to drop to y'all. I know I'm an entertainer and I thought my gifts was used for so many things, but in my darkest moments I'm learning that my gifts are being enhanced for so much more bigger than what I can even imagine or whatever. Grand rising. So what I'm gonna do is, like, y'all know that I be studying or whatever, and I just wanted to share my thought with I came across with studying today. And you know, I'm about to take y'all to church real quick, but it was like the other day, you know what I mean? The other day, but I ain't gonna start off with church. I'm just gonna wrap it up and cap it up and make my points with scripture. But you know, just to show y'all how scripture and you know, science gives spirituality or scripture no credit, but spirituality or scripture gives science all the credit. They one and the same. You get what I'm saying? Just like they say, speak those things as if they were. That's from scripture. But in science, it'll tell you manifest it, write it down, and speak it out loud so you can track it to you. It's one and the same. So boom, I be sitting in my office, and when I'm studying, I get up early as fuck. Like, I'm always woken up like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't care what time I go to bed. And I go to sleep early, and it's like I be getting up and I be looking at things and reading things, and I get so many downloads, so many downloads. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. Sometimes it make me have cold sweats, and sometimes I can wake up with a migraine or whatever, depending on what kind of the downloads or the visions or premonitions that I'm getting. And today I was woken up about 4 something, and I was like, you know, I always get downloads of words that are acronyms. So the other day I had a download like about the Israelite and Jesus, and I'm like, damn, what if the word for Jesus is just us? And what if the acronym is just us? And what if the acronym for Israelite is real light? So when you're praying to Jesus, you're praying to self, praying to ego. You get what I'm saying? You're not even acknowledging the creator. But when you're praising to the most high and acknowledging that you are the real light because the light has to shine through you, you're acknowledging not only the Most High, but the image, the reflection of what you are made in Him. That's why you are I am. That's why in science they tell you to say I am, I am, I am to everything. But the Bible tell you that too. Scripture tell you that too. It tell you speak those things as if they were and say that I am, because I am is I am. I am is in you. You are I am. I am is he is her she is we. You know what I mean? So with me breaking that down today, when I woke up, I'm sitting here and it's so funny how shit comes to me. Y'all know I'm into making organic products, and I'm sitting here and I always pray about what are you trying to speak to me? What are you trying to show me? What's the next vision? What do you want me to do? Because now I've learned in my darkest moments. I spent 10 years in a fucked up dark moment. Please don't come judging me. Yes, I curse like a pirate. But, you know, the Most High said come as you are. That's why I tell y'all not to judge me. And He's going to use me how He see fit to use me to relate to y'all. You get what I'm saying? The same way He tried to use Noah. And, you know, they were saying he was a fucking drunk. And they ain't believe the nigga was building a boat. You understand what I'm saying? Because they thought he was crazy, which people be thinking I'm crazy sometimes too, but I'm not that kind of crazy. That's why my new album is called Not That Kind of Crazy. First single, Black Smoke and Mirrors. But yeah, they thought he was crazy too until they ass started drowning. So anyway, however, so I'm just gonna give it to y'all how I'm supposed to give it to y'all. So I'm sitting here and I'm smoking my blunt. So that's why I said I curse. So don't shoot the messenger, get the message. I'm sitting here, I'm smoking my blunt, I'm praying, I'm thinking. I said, okay, it's time for me to study again, because again, like I told y'all on my last live, I'm reading the book of Samuel. I'm in Samuel 1, and I'm learning some things. And I kept getting distracted, but the Most High has a funny way of using your distractions for His word, because He knew I wasn't trying to read today, but He said, oh, you going to get this work today. You still going to pay me some attention today. You still want to spend some time with me. You get what I'm saying? So He used my distractions to get my attention to still have to get in the Bible today, because I didn't want to read. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my box. This is what my sister, thank you to my good big sis who supports all my dreams and journeys. She bought me this so I can start adding to my new products, soap. And this is the thing that I need to seal my soap. And right here it says electric. So I'm looking at electric, and okay, of course I'm an artist, I'm a poet, I write music, I write poetry, all that stuff. So words are very meaningful to me. Words carry power, words carry frequency, words have different origins that they come from, and words can mean different things than our understanding can even fucking fathom. And I'm sitting here, and for some reason I kept looking at this word electric. And I said, what's the acronym for electric? Like, how would I break that down? I said trick, right? Because we know words are spellings, and we be casting spells on ourselves, right? So if you don't know how to talk, meaning if you don't know what you're speaking out of your mouth, you could be speaking spells over yourself. And you learn that in witchcraft, you learn that in voodoo, you learn that in Buddhism, you learn that in Hindu, and you learn that in Christian and Islam, okay? Which hence Psalms, the book of Psalms is the songs of David, but they could be curses or they could be spells. And most spiritual practices like Santeria and Buddha and all that stuff, so most spells they got to cap off with a prayer from Psalms. So that lets you know how powerful the book of Psalms is, right? So dig, I'm looking at electric. I said, damn. So I say electric. So when I'm looking at electric, it hit me. This was my thought. Now I'm gonna share my thought with y'all before I break down how I broke down the word electric. So I'm sitting in thought. I said, we are an image of the Most High. We're His equal in a sense, but not the source of it all, right? Think of it as a connector. Yahweh's light is too powerful for this realm. We are the connection between 3D and 5-3 realms. We are the bridge for the gap in between worlds. Think of electric. The outlet on the wall is the source of all energy, like the Most High. But you plug an extension cord to the outlet to power many sources, like other electronics. Okay? So, if He's the source, and we're like the extension cord, we're powering other vessels, people, right? Okay, so since the Father, since, meaning senses. Okay, so since the Father is too much light, he created a lower frequency, which is us, to power other sources outside of us to make their own connection with the Most High. Meaning, you are a beacon of light, right? Because you're supposed to lead others to the Most High, right? It says we are the extension cords. He's the wall, the outlet, the power source. We have to vibrate on love frequency, which is the highest frequency, in order to connect to the Most High, to be able to connect directly to Source, in order for Him to power us up, to be able to shine light through us for other people to see. Hence, the oil. They talk about oil all the time in the Bible. What is oil? Light. It says oil for your lamps, so that you can guide them towards the light. Step into the light, Caroline. They put stuff in plain sight, right? Remember, they put all the stuff in the movie. Step into the light, Caroline. Remember Broken Dice movie? Step into the light, Caroline. Okay, so you got to step into the light to help others step into the light, right? So it says, so we are His equal, made in His image for His purpose, will, and way, to walk on a righteous path in this 3D realm, to shine light into or onto others, but needs His 5D power to do so. So we're put here to do the work He's too powerful to do. He doesn't want to destroy. He wants to remind and you to return back to home, right? So when I thought about that, I said, let's break down electric. Electric. Remember, words are spells, and you cast curses on your life because of the things you do not hear or see, but because of the things you speak. Remember, in Revelations, he said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Everyone is chosen. Remember, this is scripture too. Everyone is chosen. Many are called. Few will answer. So if this is true, right? Think of this. Acronyms for electric. What would be? Electric. Elect. Elect. Meaning choose someone to hold public office to or some other position by voting. Trick. Okay, so we want to get in trick. Okay, we still want to elect, right? It says there are several. It says there are several there are three. Elect has a few meanings: to choose or to vote someone. Most common meaning, especially in politics. Example: citizen elect their leaders. Think of it as selecting someone through voting. 2, chosen by not yet in position. Choosing but not yet in position. Right? It says used after someone. It says used after someone has been selected but hasn't started the role yet. Example: the president-elect, someone who has won the election but isn't officially in office. Number 3, to select or pick. Formal use can also mean choosing something in a more general, remember we playing with words, general, a basic level, more general sense. Example: she elected to stay home, meaning she chose to stay, right? Then, right, we go to, that's what elect mean. Now we go to trick, right? It says trick meaning can have several meanings. 1, a clever action or skill, something done in a smart or skillful way. Example: he did a magic trick. 2, a deception or prank, an act meant to fool or cheat someone. Example: she played a trick on her friend. 3, this is the most important one, y'all, a special method or shortcut, a useful way to solve a problem. Example: here's a trick to remember the formula. Number 4, in sport or performance, a stylish or difficult move. Example: the skateboarder performed in a trick. So if he's the elect trick, wouldn't you think that he chose you? He elected you to perform the fucking trick, right? Come on, let me give it to y'all real quick. It says informal use slang sometimes refer to something useful or surprising, right? It says, all right, so now I'm going to take y'all over to elite. Let me get over to elite. It says elite generally, remember basic, refers to a group of people who are considered the best, most powerful or most skilled in particular area. One, top of or best groups, people who have high ability, status, or influence. Example, the trains with the elite at the trends with the elite athletes or whatever. Okay. Two, wealth or powerful classes, a small group that holds a lot of power. Three, something of a very high quality, used to describe things that are superior. Examples, simple way to remember elite, elite, the best of the best. Boom. All right, so boom, let me break this down to y'all, right? So meaning frequency, right? If everything is fucking frequency, right? And electric means, if we break the word electric down, everything is frequency. The Bible even tell you that, manifesting every spiritualism tell you that it is frequency, and you are supposed to vibe on the highest frequency, which the highest frequency is your conscious frequency, which is supposed to be your seventh chakra, which is your pineal gland, which is your crown chakra, which is the love frequency, the highest frequency to connect to the connector. So if you got to vibe that high, right, boom, meaning your frequency has to vibe high to make connections in order to receive and reflect and project his image through you, right? What is the highest frequency? Love. Love conquer all things. So a frequency is important in science and in spiritualism, which would be 3D and 5D. That means you would have to vibe high to receive and give it back to the people, right? So that's why you're supposed to keep your hair. Because remember Samson was getting his strength from his hair. This is your ether. This is your connector, right? So you're vibing high, your hair is growing, you glowing, you getting your shine on, you drinking your water, you minding your business, you eating your fruits and vegetables, you got your copper on so that you could receive the message and be a beacon of light to translate it to the people. You are, right? So, right, it says, you had to, 3D means you had to vibe high to receive, give it back to the people. There's 3 scriptures that explains this. When the Most High went to Samuel as a child in a vision while he was asleep, which is a dream, he said, now before I get into scripture, remember when I was explaining to y'all and I was reading scripture from Samuel and we got to the tingling when they said they was going to hear it tingling in the air. What is a tingling in the air? Like the tingling on your eardrum, that's that frequency. Everybody get that beep, that sound, right? So we all get that sound, frequency sound, and they test your hearing through frequency. They don't test your hearing through sound. They tell you they're testing your hearing for sound. But if they're testing your hearing for sound, that's a fucking sound. This is a sound. Shh. That's the sound. Me talking. All this dumb shit I'm doing right now is a sound. But frequency are tones, pitches. They're not testing your ears for sound. They're testing your hearing for frequency to see what frequency you're on so they can channel you, so they can program you. Now let's get into it, right? It says, so I'm going to get into where it explains that in scripture, okay? Because it said we're on frequency. We supposed to be robbing on frequency, and I'm just trying to tie fucking science and spiritualism and scripture together so y'all can understand one is all is one. Okay? So it says in Samuel, chapter 13, verse 11. Samuel was a kid, right? And he was being brought up in the book of Samuel. Samuel was being brought up to be a high prophet because this was the prophet that was going to lead David to the throne, right? So Samuel was a child, you know what I mean? Eli was a high prophet, but like I told you on last scripture, Eli was, you know what I mean, he was doing what the preachers do out here today, taking up stuff on the collection plate, you understand what I'm saying, getting all the things for him, leading the people wrong, and he wasn't checking his sons and stuff like that. So one day the Most High came to Samuel, who was a little kid, and prophesied to Samuel and told him what was about to happen, right? So boom, and 13, he told him what was going to happen with Eli, because the Most High done got tired of Eli's ass, and he needed a new prophet of his heart, of love, right? So, can you shut that for me, please? It says, in chapter 13, verse 11, it says, and Yahweh said to Samuel, remember he's a child, behold, I will do a new thing in Israel, at which both ears of everyone that heareth shall tingle. What the fuck is a tingle? He didn't say shall hear a trumpet, shall hear a drum, shall hear a piano, shall hear a voice. He said tingle. Remember, if words are changed and they don't have the same meaning, and remember these things were spoken in Hebrew, which some letters weren't even created yet. You get what I'm saying? Some words weren't even invented yet because they didn't have the letters to create them. So if he's saying tingle, what does fucking tingle mean? Common sense. Tingle is that buzzing ear, tingling in your eardrum. You know your ear ain't literally going to tingle like this. Is that ooh sound, right? So dig it. If he said tingle, what is a tingle? To the eardrum. That's frequency sound you hear. Why do they touch your hearing from frequency and not sound? Remember, I'm giving y'all sound right now and I'm talking. That's fucking sound. You understand what I'm saying? All I gotta do is turn it up, turn it down, go medium, go low, scream low. See, that's the different. That's different sound. They could test sound like that, but no, they test your hearing from frequency. Why? Because the Most High already told you what the frequency is the fucking tingling in your ear, right? Boom. So it says to see what frequency you're on, so that your energy, vibe, or spirit can be channeled through programming. Your thoughts and actions, because TV tells a vision, television, which your eyes and ears are the entryway to your soul. They're the portal to your soul, just like the woman's womb is the gap that is the bridge between the 5D and 3D worlds. That's why women get so much, glorified and all that stuff, and they try to make you this payatry, try to make you this thing mayatry. It just try to make you think other things about women and just demonize it, because we are the portals that bring 5D people here into this 3D world. We bring 5D spirits into a 3D world, because you got to remember, you're a spirit being having a human experience. It's not the other way around. So they tell a vision, which your eyes and your ears are the entryway to your soul. So this is why you have all these TV channels. So you have to vibrate high in order to receive. That's where love frequency come in. So when we talk about the love frequency, right? And we talk about when we talk about the love,
the vibration, man.
that's cool. When we talk about the love frequency, you got to turn the light back up. All right. So when we talk about love, right? If love is the highest frequency that you want Bible, and I'm going to read from two different Bibles. I'm going to read from the Ethiopian Bible, and I'm going to read from the student Bible, because some of y'all ain't going to understand what the hell they talking about in the Ethiopian Bible, because the way they change words up. Okay? But I know y'all going to understand it here. So I'm going to give it to the collectives and the smart ones, then I'm going to dumb it down a little bit. So if love is the highest frequency that you supposed to vibe on, so that you can be elected, so you can answer your calls, so you can perform a trick to deliver the message to the people, because some of these people, you gotta make non-believers into believers, and they teach you in science, Buddhism, and all that stuff that love is the highest frequency and all that stuff. Let's see what it say about love if this is the highest frequency, and this is what you're really supposed to be vibing on, so you can receive the energy to return it back and pay it in forward. Let's see. In chapter 13 in the Ethiopian Bible, it says, I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not clarity. Have not charity. I am become as sounding brass or thinking cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profit me nothing. Charity suffereth long, and is kind. Charity even envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself. It not puffed up. Doth not be have itself. Unseemly. Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But where there be prophecies, they shall fail. Where there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect it come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake, as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. Now I'm going to take y'all to the student Bible. What is charity? What does it says in Corinthians 13? Remember that chapter? Remember where it said love is patient, love is kind, love. Do you know what it say about it? Okay, let's go to chapter 13. Now I just gave it to y'all in the Ethiopian Bible, where I know some of those words y'all can't fathom, y'all don't understand. That's why I be sitting here researching words and understanding, but I understand it. But for those who don't understand it, we're gonna take y'all to the student Bible. Right? It says, chapter 13, I just read y'all that same script. It says, if I speak in the tongues of man and of angels, but have not love, I am only resounding, going, or a clinging cymbal, chimble. It says, if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. It always protects, will trust, will always hopes, always trust, always preserve. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, the imperfection disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put away childish ways behind me. Now we see but a poor reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of this is love. So if love is the highest fucking frequency, right? And I ain't even going to take y'all to the, because I'm tapped out. My spirit is burnt out right now. That's making me tired. People, those who know, when you talk, you get a little drained and burnt out when you do this. My third scripture was going, give a man ears to hear, give a man ears to hear, give a man eyes to see. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear. For those who have eyes to see, let them see, and they shall speak. I'm going to leave that for y'all to look that up for yourselves. And y'all take what y'all will from that and tell me. And then, when I come back here, y'all let me know how that makes sense to this scripture. Because I could tell y'all how give a man ears and give a man eyes to hear. When he says man, it's just not talking about man. Like it's talking about human. Because we all have feminine and masculine energy. Okay? It's just some have a balance. You understand what I'm saying? Some are unbalanced. Some thrive more in their feminine energy. Some thrive more in their masculine energy. And then you have the collectives that know how to keep a balance. You get what I'm saying? So if I said that to say, like, if electric has a meaning, and I just gave you all the meanings of what electric means. It means to be elected, to perform a trick. Right? And we have electric. And electric is the name for frequency. And we know frequency, we vibe off of frequency. Everything is frequency. Spirit, vibe, you want to call whatever you want to call it, is the same as energy. And we know frequency is the beginning of all things. Energy is the beginning of all things, which translate into words, sound, color, songs, visions, all of that. But everything is energy. Think about it. When a baby is here, when you have a newborn baby, how can you tell the different cries of a baby? They can't fucking talk. How do you know when your baby is hungry and they need their diaper change and they need this, that, and the third? Because babies have different cries, different frequencies to let you know, bitch, I'm hungry. They don't talk. You got to vibe off their energy. So if everything is frequency and energy, and they name frequency fucking electric, you get what I'm saying? And you have to answer your call. You have to be elected to perform a trick. But the only way you could be elected to perform a trick is to vibrate high. Your higher self, your higher conscious. You have to vibrate on the love frequency to make the connection. Your hair is the ether, the antenna. Remember Samson, when Delilah cut his hair off, he lost his strength, he lost his power because he was disobedient. He didn't listen to what the father said. So when you disobedient, you're not following, you get what I'm saying? Like that's where you lose your connection. But most people got a little bit more connected when you get your hair right and you start really receiving your downloads. You vibrate off of love, and it's hard. It's easier said than done to vibrate off of love, because to vibrate off of love meaning you have to forgive some motherfucking people that never was even sorry for what they fucking did. You have to forgive people who are not apologetic for what they did, but only sorry for being fucking exposed or found out of court. You have to forgive yourself for allowing certain things to take place in your life. Like, to love, you gotta look past some evil shit to really love. And you have to have strength, hope, and faith and reasoning to have courage to give yourself the strength to be obedient, to know that all of this shit is bigger than you. All of it. All of it. So when the Most High say vengeance is mine, you really have to understand that this shit is bigger than you. You get what I'm saying? In order to love somebody, you have to love them unconditionally, not conditionally. You have to love people enough to let them go and say, hey, you the Lord's, I'm going to let him handle it. But sometimes your temptation and your hurt and your pain and your resentfulness and your bitterness will tempt you and get the best of your heart. And you'll forget about that love. And then when you go out and you start doing things and seeking the revenge and seeking things and doing things on your own, now you're lowering. When you start reacting and responding, that's why it says pick your battles, choose your battles. When you start reacting and responding, now you're giving out energy and you're lowering your frequency. Now you're lowering your frequency to the 3D realm, and now you're acting like everybody else. That's a lost soul. That's why when you vibing from the 5D realm, he tells you don't argue with fools, because to argue with a fool, you make your fucking self look like a fool. You get what I'm saying? When you're supposed to be the light. You see what I'm saying? So when you're lowering your frequency, you're not vibing high enough to answer your call when he's electing you to perform a trick to the people. He's trying to make y'all be the light. But I'm gonna get up on out of here. I mean, you know, I didn't know that you know the power in my voice, and you know me having education degrees and all those things was going to take me in this direction. But I really do love it. I love teaching people. You know, I was always told that I would be a youth minister, and I thought it was actual real life kids, but we don't understand. We can't fathom the understanding of what the Lord fathoms. His understanding is different from ours, and according to the word, we are all children of the Most High. And when I finally understood that word, children and child, it made me realize that it wasn't kids in general, like toddlers and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm supposed to be a youth leader. I'm leading y'all. Like, you get what I'm saying? It was all children. It was the young, it was the old, it was the new, it was the already here. You get what I'm saying? So now I really understand my calling. And I thought that, like, doing music and doing skits and telling my stories and all that stuff was like, it stopped there. No, all those things were put together to help me get here. Yeah, I'm still do music. Yeah, I'm still get them skits out. Yeah, I'm still be working with the 2211 herbs. But I got my testimony and I got my stories. And I went through some hell and back. And the things that I went through should have fucking broke me. I should not be sitting here today with the love in my heart. Like the things that I went to, motherfuckers would be in jail or in the crazy house, but he's using me, and all those things that I went through were working for me, not against me, because everything is here to work for you, not against you. But you gotta understand past the matrix. You really have to dive into this shit, go down rabbit holes, because again, if you don't understand words, then you're going to be casting spells on yourself. You get what I'm saying? If you don't understand words, you won't understand that you've been elected to perform a trick by the elite, the best of the best. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Don't, like, please, don't. I'm that girl. I'm Shiro, saving one person at a time. Let me see what y'all over here is saying. Let me see. You lost? Did you catch up, Will? Hey, Will. Oh, we the type that's crazy. Okay. All right. Make sure you go pray and work it out with the Most High, cause your issue ain't with me. You get what I'm saying? You people. I'm not a people. I'm a spirit. So, okay, yeah. See, people like you talk too much, and you probably put your foot in your mouth, cause you seen where I was going. Did you get there yet? You know what I'm saying? Grand Rising, Mookie. I love you. Give Nazareth a kiss for me. I love you, baby girl. Hi, Wycraft. Uh, Yup, that's how the Most High work. Will, you so lost. Oh, such a lost soul. What do you think a vision and a fucking premonition is? What do you think a aha, a lighting moment is? People are so simple minded, you imbecile. I can't even get mad at that. People be dumb as shit. If you think she crazy, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why you heard what I said. That's why I said, listen. Then if this shit ain't for you, keep passing on by. Like you just want to be up on here, make somebody mad, but all you doing is pissing yourself off because you was talking to yourself and every motherfucking question that you asked, I fucking nailed it. Bye, bye. Hey, my sister. Hey, Savage Lola. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. We need to drop a song, baby. Always on the grind. You know me, Mookie. You know I was up and I got that little message and that premonition and I was doing some studying by myself and then it got too much and I was going to put it on Facebook as like, remember how I put it on Facebook, the acronym for Jesus and Israelite? I was going to do that, but then by the time I looked up, I had this and I had this. Oh, and I wanted to study this with y'all. Oh, this is the one because there was a third passage. Let me see. I got that, and then I didn't want to write no more stuff down. I didn't want to write because I started getting really really tired. So I sent some stuff, where when it explains like him giving you eyes to see and ears to hear, meaning these verses are saying some people see and hear physically but don't truly understand or accept the truth. To have eyes and ears spiritually means being open, aware, and receptive to the Yahweh's message. For the dickhead in the back, dickhead, you understand what I'm saying? Meaning, yeah, you gonna get some shit out of the dumbest shit that you never even expected to get it out of, because that's not how the Most High works. Just like when Samuel was showing who was gonna be the next king and shit, Samuel thought he was gonna go look for a motherfucking warrior, and he came upon a shepherd boy who was a little runt that looked like he was weak as fucking hell. But let me tell you about David. Go read the book of fucking David, and let me tell you how he was taking down armies, taking down nations, and still sat on his motherfucking throne greatly. Okay, and Samuel said, "You got jokes. I thought I was looking for a warrior." Yeah, so Will, whoever you are, there you go. Boom. So it says these verses are saying, okay, so it says in short, it's about perception of the heart and mind. Didn't we just explain that through electric love? Didn't we just explain that? It's the heart. You have to have love. Renew your mind to the love frequency, right? Boom. So it says, not just the body. It says not just the body. So it goes. Let me see. The idea of having eyes to see and ears to hear appears several times in the Bible. It is a metaphor. That's you see what he said? See, that's how I answered your dumbass question, because see, the scripture is parables and it's metaphorically, and they give you fucking stories so that you can understand and be able to relate to other people's situations and things that happen in them times, so you can understand how he show up and vibe in your life. So it says metaphors meaning just not just physical sight and hearing, but spiritual understanding and awareness. Here are some key scriptures. Matthew 13:13, spoken by Yahusha. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. Like, just because you got fucking eyes to see and ears to hear, you still don't understand. That's why Will was in the background. That's why he was one of them dumb, slow-ass dummies in the back of the yellow bus asking me them dumb-ass questions, because he wasn't even giving me time to explain or understand how the fuck I got my principle, my meaning, and the scripture out of lecture, because he got fucking eyes and ears to hear and see, but his dumb-ass couldn't fucking hear or see shit. That's why he was asking me all them dumb-ass questions. Okay, Matthew 13:16, because that motherfucker didn't understand not a word that was coming out my fucking mouth. And it's for dummies like you, for why I read from two different books, right? So then it says, Matthew 3:16, but blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Meaning, You can see spiritually because blessed are your eyes and your ears because you can see and hear, meaning you looking beyond the 3D realm. You looking beyond the skin and the flesh. You looking in the fucking spiritual realm. So he's gonna bless you, right? Mark 8:18. Do you have eyes but fail to see? And ears but fail to hear. That's what the Most High is asking. You got fucking eyes, but you ain't seeing a motherfucking thing. But this one is 3D. That's why That's why these people are allowed to put shit in music and on TV and put shit in plain sight and give y'all subliminal and indirect messages of what the fuck they doing to y'all or doing to us, and nobody's gonna ever live in freedom because he said right here, do you have eyes and you still don't fucking see? Do you have ears and you still don't hear? They do it because they know exactly what the fuck they doing, and they know you're too fucking dumb to get it. Okay? It says Jeremiah. Hear this. It says, Jeremiah, hear this, you foolish and senseless people who have eyes but do not see, who have ears but do not hear. And the thing that I like about Jeremiah, if y'all go read the book of Jeremiah, this is where you will find history, and scripture is our fucking history. Because in the book of Jeremiah, he had to go to motherfucking King Darius, King Alexandra. He had to warn King Darius not to fucking allow Cleopatra to go over to the Roman Empire and shit, because he was telling them that, you know what I mean, the nations was going to fail. Everybody was running down on motherfucking, you understand what I'm saying? The Israelites, he was trying to warn the Palestinians and stuff like that. So these wars that y'all be watching that they call history is the same fucking wars that they got in the Bible. So I find it interesting when Jeremiah 2021 during the times of history that was during Cleopatra, King Alexandra, King Darius, them shit, y'all learned about them, but they ain't never told y'all that the prophets was a part of it. They ain't never told y'all that shit was right in the Bible. They ain't told y'all that part. You understand what I'm saying? Because they separated the two. And in Jeremiah, it says, hear this, you foolish and senseless people who have eyes but do not see, who have ears but do not hear. And that's what Will was. He was a foolish and senseless dickhead in the background asking all these questions because he had eyes to see but could not fucking see what the fuck I was saying. He had ears to hear but could not hear what the fuck I was saying because he was too busy trying to be a troll, and he wanted to get motherfucking a reaction and a response off me, but he got the wrong kind of reaction. He got the wrong response off of me because I'm here to say and do a different thing. So now he's probably on the opposite side of the computer with his little motherfucking computer fingers. You understand what I'm saying? Probably feeling stupid. Well, let me spark my blunt. Did I take him to church today, bro?
Yeah, you did that.
I did that?
You did that, yeah. But go follow her page. She is a female rapper. What's your name? Elevator has...
What they talking about?
Somebody asked, was you a female rapper?
Yes, I'm a female rapper. I go by the name Blanche Monroe. I'm not going to just say a female rapper. I'm a female artist. I do it all. I can sing, I rap, I do.
You got Mo on some bullshit?
Well, that's something I don't respond to stuff like that because it's a funny thing that when people disrespect the Most High, they get off of things or they go about their day and then something happened. But the thing is, when shit happened on the physical realm, they never acknowledge that it came from the 5D realm because they too stupid to understand. Anyway, let's see what everybody else is saying. Let's see. Okay. Happy first day, girl. Elevator. And again, I pray that everybody has a hedge of protection over their individual bodies, staying focused, positive, and productive. I pray that y'all have a hedge of protection over the vehicles that y'all traveling to and from, whether it be land, water, or air, making sure that y'all have grace and mercy and longevity over y'all lives while y'all traveling to and from y'all destinations on y'all journey. I pray that y'all are focused, positive, and productive, staying healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, and all the illies. But yes, I am a female artist. I do music. You can find my music on here. I have videos on here, and my music is across all platforms. My favorite is Messy and Boss Up. Check that out. And there's a video for Messy and Boss Up here. I do skits and I'm funny as shit. I share my point of views from my life. I share my life from my music because I have a testimony. I've been through a lot of shit, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people could relate to my story. And I feel like my testimony could be a blueprint to help others stay focused, positive, and productive, because it's all about staying positive. If you know, chakras and all that stuff is about aligning and staying positive and all that stuff, and they just giving it to you from an energetic point of view of how your central nervous system work and how you attract and all that thing. And scripture is telling you the same thing. It's just saying that, boom, get straight to the source. Like, we ain't gotta do all this. Just get straight. Just know who you are. Get straight to it. Boom. Cut out the middleman and get straight to the man. And yeah, I'm just gonna be the gap, the bridge, and show y'all how that work out. So, that's why I'm nailing myself to the cross and don't mind walking in my truth, and don't mind sharing my stories with you all, because if it's going to help somebody else get to their purpose, get to their blessing, and give them some hope to just want to live another day, because life is beautiful, then so be it. I will nail myself to the fucking cross. I will tell you everything. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah, that's what I came to do. And I have one of my oldest on here. I'm so glad you're there. And my bro was on here too, making sure, see what I'm saying, checking out these comments and stuff like that, or whatever. And next time, bro, if you looking at the comments, you can respond for me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, so they don't think I ain't being interactive at the door, because it's kind of hard to like teach, preach.
No, Precious ain't respond to him.
Yeah, I know she do that. That's what she normally do. And stuff, cause that's my good baby. That's my life, right? Thank you, my love, and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I had to take y'all to church today and tell y'all what love is. And love is written in the Bible. Y'all just heard it. It says it's not boastful, it's not proudful. It don't. You understand what I'm saying? But it's hard to thrive and strive off of love, because some of these people evil as fuck. People will make you want to crack them right upside their motherfucking forehead. And then, and that one scripture in the Bible tell you to turn your other cheek, but people think that the scripture mean to turn your other cheek so you can act like these motherfuckers ain't hitting you. No, when you read the scripture before and after, no, if you walk in the spirit, that shit say deliberately the metaphor is to turn your other cheek so the fucking punch can miss you. And it's going to land exactly where it need to land in the motherfucking trap that they set for you. Because the same way everybody, witchcraft and all that stuff is a trickster, is the same. He said elected to perform a trick. He a trickster too. That's why he say in scripture, when your enemies fucking plot, plan, and scheme, and they dig fucking holes, that be the very same hole that they die in. Because to turn your other cheek is to turn so they can miss you, so they can land right in that motherfucking hole that they planted for you. And then when he say he gonna prepare your table in front of your enemies and make them your spousal, that's when you gonna be looking over the motherfucking grave, and you got two choices. You got a choice to either bury their ass in the dirt or extend grace. Extend the same grace that the Most High showed you. And at that moment, that's when you'll know who is who and if you really are true. Because it ain't easy extending grace to fucking betrayal, to lies, to perverseness, to schemes, to fraudulent, to fucking trickery. It's not easy to forgive people. You know what I'm saying? If somebody fucking robbed you of all your money, how do you be like, bitch, I had bills? How the fuck a bitch? Today it's almost the first. I'm fucked up. And then, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the Most High come through, right? And he'll send the thing that they took from you, the Most High send it right back from an unexpected source. There you got a choice to forgive and show grace, because even though they wronged you, the Most High still came through and showed you grace. He still made a way. So is you going to hold on to that anger and say, you know what, that's just who you are. I forgive you, but I just can't be a part of that, and move on. Give them grace. Don't give them revenge. Because in that, he testing you to see if you're ready to carry, you know what I'm saying, his purpose. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share that with y'all today. It was too powerful. It was too powerful for me to just write on a post. And I was like, man, I gotta go live about this. And in that moment, I started laughing and I said, God, you funny. Oh, this how you gonna use my platform? I thought it was gonna be used for the other stuff. And he said, yeah, it's gonna be used to tell your stories for my purpose. I said, but I thought I was going to be an entertainer. He said, yeah, you going to entertain my purpose. I said, but I thought I was supposed to be funny and I was, supposed to be writing songs and making the people laugh. He said, yup, you going to make them laugh because your stories is going to be funny. You know what I'm saying? And they going to understand. But you going to do it in my will, my way, my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh, that's why you was starting to let me get a little bit of numbers and starting to let stuff gravitate, because you said, oh, I put you through all of that for my purpose. Those things weren't against you. They were working for you. I was not only preparing you, but I was protecting you. Think about the story of David. David knew he was anointed to be the king since he was a little boy, but he had to keep that a secret. He had to protect that secret because he knew if too many people, if the king found out, he was going to kill him. Look how so many people around David was orchestrated and put in position. Samuel was born simply for David's purpose. The God David. So think about how things in your life are set up to prep and prepare you. And when he means no, it's not a no. It's to prepare you and protect you. So David was a shepherd boy. David fucking was lonely. They looked at David as a bastard child. His mom couldn't go praise the Most High in the tabernacle, which was the church, the highest church. She couldn't go praise there because David's father, first wife, had passed away, and because how marriage is looked at in scripture, when he got with David's mom, they looked at that as being fornication and an outcast. So and David's mom was a faithful servant. Faithful. She taught David everything about the Most High. She taught David how to sing. She taught David poems. David was a musician. You get what I'm saying? They outcasted David. David ain't had no friends. None of the girls liked David. He was scrawny looking. All he did was took care of the sheep. But David had a heart. David had courage. David knew his purpose. David knew what he was put here to do. And he had his faith. He hung on to the words of his mother that she taught him about the Most High. He hung on to that. So when it was time for the Most High's will and purpose to be set in place, Samuel, who was old as hell, and had to prophesy to David. Now he had to go anoint David and let David know what it was and who he was to be, because the Most High tell you who you are, not the people. You feel me? So David already knew what time it was because of what he felt in his spirit and his heart. You get what I'm saying? But David, he is a talker, something like me. He wanted to go tell the world, but he couldn't. And his brothers ain't really fuck with him because they was mad. You understand what I'm saying? They was mad, and they didn't like David. But when they found this shit out, the same motherfucking brothers that didn't fuck with David, they had to protect David. And one of the brothers hated it so much, but he still protected his brother. Then a cousin that worked for the king,
Joab.
Yeah, Joab. He worked for the king. He was one of the king's right hands. When he found out who David was, he was like, fuck, I gotta protect my cousin now. Like, shit, my loyalty. You get what I'm saying? And what was so funny about that is, the very same throne that the king was trying to protect, the Most High put David in a position to be brought close to the king. He had to sing for the king. His music was the only thing that calmed the king when the Most High came to Saul and told him that he was going to torment his mind, send him crazy because of the things that he was doing to the people and to the world. Let me tell you what Saul did. You know how Saul lost his kingdom? Saul lost his kingdom because, boom, he lost the throne. He ain't lose the kingdom. He lost the people because he did something like Eli did. The people wanted a king. The Most High didn't want to give the people a king because he felt like, I'm all y'all need. Y'all don't got to be like other nations. Y'all don't see what other nations is going through. Y'all don't have to go through that. Y'all are made of abundance. Y'all own kings and queens. Y'all don't need no dictator. But us being the people, we wanted to be like the people. So he told, you know what I'm saying, Samuel, you know what I'm saying? He said, listen, dig this, tell the people what the king going to do. Everything that these leaders do, the Most High warned the people. This is what they going to do. The people said, fuck all that. We don't give a fuck all about none of that. We still want a king. Now, mind you, the thing that the king was doing is what the prophets used to do. But because the prophets didn't ride around in thrones and glorify it and, display their riches, the people felt like they needed a king because they got sidetracked by the glitz. and the glory and was missing the purpose and the message and what the whole order of design was to be. So Samuel stepped down and said, fuck it. All right, they don't want me to do it. I just be the messenger for them then. All right. So the Most High told him, you gonna go find me a king. We gonna make this person a king, because when the Most High picks people and put people in positions, he start off picking them because of their heart. But what people do is they get in power and they get these positions, and then they let the ego take over them. And that's what happened. He picked Saul because Saul was a little boy. So Saul got anointed as a child to be a king. He became a king, but Saul was walking in so much power and glory because he had the Father behind him that he got egotistical. Now, this is the thing about the Most High. The Most High does have grace and mercy, but the Most High, when he say vengeance is mine, he means that vengeance is his. He don't play. You get what I'm saying? And when he come to smite out a person, he's taking your whole bloodline. Like when you walk in evil, when people be thinking evil is the worst shit that we hear on the news today. No, something as fucking lying on somebody that's pure-hearted and genuine to set them up, the Most High looks at that as fucking evil. And when he starts mapping things out, like he meets you, the very same thing that you plot and scheme on a person or you do to a person, he fucking set that up not only for you, but your whole fucking, he wipes out bloodlines when he want his will and his way to be done. You understand what I'm saying? When he say, touch not my anointed, he mean that. Touch not my anointed. So when you got the Most High behind you, you get what I'm saying? When it says no weapon formed against me shall prosper, he mean that. The weapons going to form. He ain't say they wasn't going to form. He ain't say the people wasn't going to try. He said they was going to be formed against you, but they shall not prosper. And that's what was happening in Saul's sake. He was wiping out the Palestinians, and he was taking down nations, and the Israelites, we was bumping and thumping. We was the man right there. Hey, we was walking in the glory, but Saul got too prideful. So when it came to the Palestinian king, he was told, because the Palestinian king not only was kept messing with the Israelites, but they practiced witchcraft and stuff like that. So Saul was supposed to capture their king, cut him and his right hand, his general, the right hand, the general of the army. He was supposed to cut their head off. You get what I'm saying? And the stuff, he wasn't supposed to keep none of their stuff. He was supposed to basically just deplete them. You get what I'm saying? But no, Saul got too powerful and got too in his glory, and he didn't kill the king. What he did was chained him to a table and made him be like at his table like a dog, because he wanted the people to see what he did. You get what I'm saying? Not what the Most High told him to do. He wanted the bullshit. Look at this nigga. I got now he my foot through. Now he. And one thing about the Most High, when he makes your enemies your pedestal, like you're not supposed to laugh at their pain and the shit that they're going through, because the minute you do that, the same way he giveth, he taketh away. And it tells you that in scripture, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing and you're gonna watch it, but you ain't supposed to laugh the fuck at that shit. You supposed to be feeling sad. You supposed to feel in your heart sorry and not boastful and proudful, like, yeah, look at them, that's why they fuck. You're not supposed to do that. So that's what Saul did. He fucking had the king chained up, and then he kept them people's stuff and then started giving it out. And the Most High was like, oh, hell no. I ain't tell you to do no shit like that. I don't even want this peasant shit. This shit is from witchcraft. This shit is bad energy. Like, this shit wasn't supposed to never enter my motherfucking kingdom. And he got warned. Because remember, Samuel was the prophet. He got warned and saw. So the Most High was like, yep, tell him he got to get a crown over. And since he wanted the validation from the people, that's all he'll get from me. He won't have a crown no more. And Saul was like, fuck that. I ain't giving up my crown. It's my people, my kingdom. And he's like, And the Most High was like, oh, no, this is my people, my kingdom. So Saul thought he could outsmart the Most High and fucked himself all the way to the same hole that he dug for David. Because the same way Saul was chose as a child to be a king in the adult years for Israel was the same way David was chosen as a child to take over Saul's place. And Saul didn't know that. And just like when Yahushua was born, they was running around trying to kill the firstborn, because remember, the enemy does everything that the Most High do. That's why it's a counterfeit. Remember, the Most High smited out all the firstborns because, Pharaoh wanted to play with Moses and didn't want to let them people go, or didn't want to let, you understand what I'm saying? So he was like, all right, well, fuck it. I tried to warn them with little shit that they could recover from, but since they don't want to act like they want to hear me and act like they most powerful than me, then yeah, let me send out the little smoke and take out all their kids since, and now you ain't gonna come back from this. Now you gonna have torment and all that because you wanted to go up against me and my people. And I said, touch not my anointed. And I said, no weapon formed against them shall prosper, because if I am with them, who can be before them? You understand what I'm saying? So boom. That's the same thing he did, you know what I mean, to Saul. Saul, you know, he was being disruptive and all that stuff, and all these things start happening. So he tormented Saul, and then Saul, the only way Saul could get calm was because he heard about this little shepherd boy who played the harp so beautiful and had a beautiful voice, and he sung these, and he, you know, so David would be singing and all this stuff, but David, the whole time he was singing for fucking Saul, he knew he was the king, because he had just got anointed the day before the king called for him. You know what I'm saying? But he had to keep it a secret. Even when his temptation was getting the best of him, because he was so in love with Michael, his Saul's daughter, that he wanted to let her know, like, bitch, I'm king. I'm about to take over this. You know what I'm saying? Your father ain't got nothing with me because I'm chosen by God. He was very good in his pride and his ego, and that would have fucked him up. He would have never been able to make it to his purpose if he would have been all trying to brag for the young girl that had him all, you understand what I'm saying, lustful. That's why you're not supposed to lead yourself. You're not supposed to lead by flesh and lead by lust, because you block your blessings like that. If he would have told that girl when he was a teenager that he was anointed by Samuel, and everybody knew who Samuel was, because everybody was the fuck scared of Samuel, because they knew everything that Samuel said, he had some power behind it happened. They knew. So they was scared of Samuel. So if he was to tell them that Samuel came, they knew what it was. They knew if Samuel came to anoint him, as they knew he was chosen by the Most High, David would have been out of here. You understand what I'm saying? And David would have never got or he would have never got the experience that he needed to be able to see the things, the king's failures, the king's weaknesses, the king's patterns, the king's loops. He would have never got the experience that he needed in order to lead the very same people that Saul was leading. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't until the end until Saul found out that David was anointed, and then that's when he started going hard. But then what happened? Israel got split because the people who knew exactly who Most High was, the army split, and that was David's brothers, his cousins, the very same motherfuckers that didn't like David, that thought he was weird, that thought he was scrawny, that thought he was too much, too emotional, too caring, too generous, too loving, too this, too that, too, too empathetic, too sensitive, got too much apathy, too much humility. They thought he was too generous. And the same people that thought David was fucking weird and was laughing at him singing and laughing at him and just laughing at him all his childhood life, and then like whatever, every same motherfuckers that had to serve David because they were in the army, and they split up and they seen the works of what David, when David slayed that motherfucking giant shit, they was already on David's side shit. They was making little jokes when motherfuckers didn't want to follow David, because when the king, when David slayed the giant, and that next day the king was like, listen, get that nigga a third of my army that he gonna lead. They nobody want him to lead after him. They're like, this nigga lead sheep. Fuck, he gonna tell us? He don't even know how to fight. He don't even know how to handle a sword. Like, fuck is going on? We ain't listening to them. They was making jokes. You know what I'm saying? But the ones who knew would be like, yeah, they had smart comments. Oh, you gonna follow this little shepherd boy, this little nigga that sing. Motherfuckers would be like, did you slay a giant? I ain't seen you slay one of them. Yep, I'm gonna head out with this little scrawny ass little nigga that we was all fucking coward and couldn't slay. You know, I'm gonna follow him. Come something about him. You know what I'm saying? And the more they followed, the more they got to see. You understand what I'm saying? Fucking, what did the Most High do? He positioned, you understand what I'm saying, Saul's son, who was supposed to be king, he positioned him to be David's best friend, and he tore him the best of the best. You understand what I'm saying? To the point where David was slaying shit. Then they was trying to apply a scheme on him, set him up, lead him to his demise. Like the king set him up because he knew he wanted his daughter and shit like that. And they was plotting and planning and still trying to position themselves in the house. Saul didn't want to give him the daughter that he honestly, genuinely loved. He wanted to give him the daughter that David from the door was saying, I don't fucking like her. David didn't give a fuck about how you looked at him. He didn't give a fuck what you thought about him. He stood on his truth. He didn't give a fuck how scrawny he looked. I don't give a fuck how less you think of me. I think of me of this, and the Most High think of me of this, and I want her. I want the best of the best because I deserve the best of the best, and this one ain't right. She a little evil. I don't even like her, and I already told her ass I ain't never gonna love her, so even if they try to make us get married, bitch, I ain't even gonna do nothing with you. I'm just gonna always disregard you, and he stood on that shit, and they seen that, but they were still trying to position themselves in the house through her because she was like treacherous. She was, the scheming and plotting and scheming and planning with the mom and all that stuff, and it was just a bunch of shit. And Saul's two oldest children were evil. They plot, plan, scheme, did all kinds of shit. But his two youngest children were had a heart of gold. They stood on the laws of the Most High, and because that, they were positioned real close to David so that they could still live in that royalty, although they knew the kingdom was being taken from them, because the son knew that David was being anointed. After they became best friends so long, the best friend asked him, like, did Samuel come to you? And he was like, yeah. And he knew, like, damn, I ain't even like David had to tell him, like, yeah, he gave me your spot, bro. What's up? What you going to do? And at first, boy was trying to be all tough, and David let everybody know, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. I got the Most High with me. If he is before me, who can be against me? That's why most of the scriptures and psalms are the Psalms of David, and it says the musician. You get what I'm saying? And I could read y'all a song right now from just based from me explaining all that David went through. I'll give y'all Psalms right now. That's a banging protection prayer that I always speak for myself. Psalms 91 is a good protection prayer. It's a bunch of them. Let me find them first. And as I finish telling y'all this, but yeah, so David he so he was going through all that. So, he just knew the Most High was with him, and he stood on that, like, if he is with me, who can be before me? And David didn't, most of the Psalms are about David and what he sung and what he was going through and things like that. That's why they're called Songs of Songs. You got Songs of Solomon, which Solomon was David's son. You get what I'm saying? Which we can get into that story too. David was told, his mother told him, like, listen, you going to inherit a lot, but you going to go through a lot, but stay true in your heart, because David felt like he had a fire in his chest, and he felt like everything that he felt it real deeply, like it was amplified, like his love was amplified, his passion was amplified, his anger was amplified, and that's what scared him the most. Like, people didn't scare him, he scared himself of what he was capable of doing, because he knew the power that he had behind him. You get what I'm saying? And how the Most High was showing him how he was positioning people, the very same people that was plotting and scheming and thinking they was getting away with stuff. The Most High was showing him how he was putting those people in the very same place, because again, what he say, your enemies will become your footstool. Like, so, and David's son, we can get into Samuel. We'll get into that as I keep learning about David, because although I was reading the book of wisdom and the book of I'm in Psalms, so I want to go to Psalms 23. Although I was reading the book of wisdom and I was practicing and studying other things on my own, again, if spirit will always lead you when the spirit is trying to show you something and open up your eyes and send you a message and send you words of confirmation and affirmation, not only for yourself but to bring it back to others. He'll start the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of fruitfulness, all that stuff will start guiding you to certain scriptures and certain chapters that the spirit itself wants you to study, practice, and understand it in your heart and understand it in your mind, so you could bear your fruit, so you could bring it back to the people so they can get a better understanding, especially if you have a gift of speaking or a gift of teaching or a gift of singing or any kind of gift that makes the people pay attention, where you can have a platform. Like, yeah, it's your job to go back and share that with the people. So that's what was going on with David. He knew David hard. He knew David would lead would lead the people in the right space. So again, Samuel was born before David, but Samuel was born. His purpose was to prophesy to the people because he could see, he could hear, or whatever. And when the people wanted a king and didn't want to listen to Samuel no more, the Most High knew that it would be another child of Samuel's heart and of Saul's heart that would pay attention to Samuel. So Samuel was of his heart. Samuel never, no matter what people, because they tried to kill Samuel too. And no matter what they did, Samuel was another one who knew, listen, if the Most High is with me, none of y'all could be before me. And they was scared of Samuel. They was like, listen, if y'all kill him, ooh, y'all gonna get, because they knew who Samuel was. Like, people know who you are. People see your light. You get what I'm saying? And they was scared of that or whatever. So, and Samuel, again, he was getting out of stuff or whatever the case may be. But Samuel was designed and brought here forth on this earth of the Most High's heart, because the Most High knew that Saul would fuck up, but there would be another child that he would anoint, and that child would be obedient to Samuel and follow Samuel order and guidance and advisal, because they were connected both through the highest frequency, love. You get what I'm saying? And David received his own messages and his own, so he had a connection, so he knew who Samuel was, Samuel knew who he was, so they connected, they vibe. And yeah, I'm saying everybody was set up to get David where he needed to go. And David had some fuck ups too. David fucked up on the throne, you know what I mean? And he got convicted. The Most High did some shit, but he didn't take the throne from him, because David did some shit. He was a little lustful man, David, you know what I'm saying? When he got in his stuff, he started letting the pride get to him a little bit. He got fine, you know what I'm saying? David became fine. He was a warrior. All the girls wanted him, you know what I'm saying? And then he fell in love with Bathsheba, and then he put Bathsheba's husband on the front line so Bathsheba's husband could get killed so he could marry her. And God was like, now you was wrong. Your intentions was not set right, because the Most High goes off your heart. He goes off your intentions. And he was like, oh, you think you sick? You think ain't nobody else seen this, huh? You think so you want to play with me after all we've been through? You thought you could do that and get away with it? And so the Most High did some shit to David, but he kept the throne, and David had to redeem himself, and the Most High forgave him and stuff like that. And then the throne was inherited to Solomon. And then Solomon, lustful as he had the same trait of his dad. He was very handsome. He prayed for wisdom. That's what inherited him wealth, because once you get wisdom of all things. The first sign of the fear of the Lord is understanding wisdom and accepting wisdom and seeing things that you just can't unsee anymore, and hearing things that you just can't unhear. And Solomon knew all these things, and he was warned by the high priestess. That's what the prophets were called. They were called visionaries, seers, or whatever. And he was warned because Samuel had his apprentice that he was raising up too as well. They only touch base on his first one, which his first one got killed by trying to protect David and Samuel or whatever. But they don't touch base on his other one, until you get further down in the stories or whatever the case may be. So they had another high priestess that was put in position to prophesy to David's son. And before David passed away, he told Solomon, he said, listen here, son, the Most High promised me that we will always have the throne. We will always be the richest kingdom of all nations as long as we stay obedient to him. You had to follow his word. Please don't do nothing. Nothing's new under the sun. A leopard does not change his spots. These are the things that are in the Bible, these quotes that I'm saying. Nothing's new under the sun. Leopard does not change their spots. Every man shall sow what they reap. You get what I'm saying? Things will be spoken out of a child's mouth. Listen here, my child, stay obedient and do exactly what the Most High say, because if not, he's going to snatch this throne from you. He's going to make our people suffer. You cannot mislead the people. That's why they say, like, if you know better, you're supposed to tell people the right way to go, because if you know that people are out here sinning and doing wrong, and you just watching them doing it, like, shit, you responsible for they sin now, because you knew better and you could have told them to do better. But because you didn't, now not only is they gonna get their shit, you gonna get your shit too. That's just like conspiracy. If you fucking go into a situation and even though you didn't commit the crime, you know what I'm saying, you ain't had no parts in it, but you knew them motherfuckers did it, you didn't say nothing. Oh yeah, you get this conspiracy. That's worse than the person that did it. It says the same thing in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So, like, with Solomon, he was going against, he wasn't being obedient. And the one thing that he was warned was not to marry women from other nations. That's why it always so funny to me when men be like, Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines, and and every one man is supposed to have blah 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 blah. But if y'all read the book of Samuel and then read the book of Solomon, you'll understand, yeah, that shit was for the other nations. Those other kings was allowed to have and do all that, because even Saul, when he started cheating on his wife, you get what I'm saying, that his people started warning him like, yeah, I don't think you should have your side piece up in the house, and he like, she my concubine. Oh, his right hand told him, yeah, that's for the other nations, not for us. We ain't supposed to be cheating. Now you about to get us all like this. You about to. They started questioning Saul. You get what I'm saying? And the same warning was sent to Solomon when David became king. He told him, listen, my son, we can't marry other nations. It wasn't that they wasn't supposed to marry other nations and other cultures because of their race, the color of their skin. It was because the Most High knew that they practiced other religions. It wasn't no religions. It was just other gods, laws, and things like that. There was no religion. And don't nowhere in the Bible it says religions. It says other gods, other deities, idols, things like that. And the Most High was aware of that. Listen, don't be messing, because they want to pull you away from me. They're going to draw you away from me, so you can't be out here marrying all these women. Because first of all, you ain't supposed to have all these women. Second of all, these other women are into other things. And when you love a woman, they can convince you to do things that you should not do. You get what I'm saying? Because the temptations of the hearts, the matters of the hearts, it talks about this all the time in the scripture. That's why I say guard your heart, because the matters of our heart is a sure thing. As much the same amount of cells and the same amount of frequency that makes up the brain makes up the heart. That's why the heart and the brain sometimes could be on two different pages, because the brain, actually, you have three brains in your body, and it's a scientific facts. Is this one that will send out messages to other things? Is this one that will send out messages through your aura and reflect and project how you see things, how you move, and da 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 da. And then you have the brain of your gut that keeps your physical body running well. So if your gut is not clean, that's where your disease and all that stuff come from. You know what I'm saying? If your mind is not cleansed, that's where you get the thinking, and it, start reflecting on your heart. Or sometimes your heart can reflect and overweigh your mind, and then it's out of alignment. So you got to bring your heart and your mind into alignment so you can move accordingly on a righteous path. You get what I'm saying? That's why it says renew your mind, guard your heart. So at the same time, if you're doing things that matters of the heart, those things can lead you into sin. They can lead your lustful behaviors and things like that can lead you into sin. And what happened? Solomon didn't want to listen. All the ladies loved Solomon. He knew he was handsome. He was very wealthy. The only thing he prayed to the Most High for was wisdom. And out of that, he got everything. And because wisdom is the biggest thing you can have, the biggest thing that you can understand, and love is the highest frequency you can vibe on. So when you understand love, which is the matter of the heart, and you have wisdom in the mind, and they come in alignment, boom. You understand what I'm saying? You're being elected to perform a trick. Remember, you know what I'm saying? What did we understand? Go back to the beginning when I broke down what is electric. What does the real meaning of electric mean? When you break down the word elect, the word trick. Well, when you break down the word elite, what does it mean? You get what I'm saying? Basically, put on it to perform. You get what I'm saying? So he what Solomon do? He ain't want to listen. He married all these wives from different nations, had all these different 300 concubines from all these nations. They practiced other deities. He started, what did he do? He started because his wives, had to go travel far to worship their gods and deities. He started bringing in statues and idols and sculptures and things, putting it on a holy ground. And the Most High didn't like that. Then even though he didn't believe in their deities, when his wives would beg him to make offerings and stuff to other gods, Saul took it as, oh, I'm just doing it to please her. But the Most High still seen it as a direct insult, and still was pissed because the Most High is a jealous guy. And he like, yo, I don't give a fuck what these bitches is saying. I said worship me. Like, I don't care if you love them. I don't care how wet your joint get, if she can suck it from the back, my boy. I said we over here with it, not over there with it. And because Solomon wanted to keep being over there with it, and he kept getting warning, and he was caught between the matters of the mind and the matters of the heart, and he was out of alignment. He wound up worshiping other deities, summoning legion of demons. And then when that shit started overtaking him in his throne, and they started losing battles, and he started, and everything that the Most High said was going to happen to him, he had to get on them knees and redeem himself, and had to do what the Most High told him to do. And when he started doing what the Most High told him to do, then he summons a legion of angels or whatever, and they came and fought his war and stuff like that. But we still lost the throne, and we've been still oppressed ever since. And then every time we get free, we want to do some shit that the other nations do, and we get oppressed again. So, but yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'm out of here. I just thought I would come share my thoughts and my studies with you all, because I really be up in this word. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, check out the skits, because I am funny as shit. Lord forgive me, because I gotta stop cursing, especially when my hand is on the Bible. I'm a work in progress. Check out the skits. And make sure y'all check out the music, because it's lit. And I give y'all my point of views from my real stories. And I'll be sharing my testimony. And again, I'm Blanche Monroe. I have videos on here, my skits on here, me working with the 2211 herbs, showing y'all stuff in the garden, showing y'all how to cook with herbs and stuff, showing y'all how to make organic food, making organic lotions, my organic product, natural treasures from my Shiro brand. I, specialize in making organic hair oil and lotion and stuff, things that actually heal your soul, heal you mentally, heal your body and stuff like that. If you don't believe me, go look at one of my lives when I showed y'all when my locks fell out, and I didn't have no retwists, I meant no add-ons, I didn't get nothing. My hair is not even what's they call interlock, because eventually I desire to take out my locks, and I probably put them back, and I just want to take them out when I get to a certain lift, just to rock my hair for like maybe a few months to a year. Even though I ain't gonna be able to do nothing with it, but then I probably put them back in. But depending on what the spirit says to me, they probably don't come out. But yeah, y'all see my hair oil. If you go look at my live or whatever, I'm busted and disgusted, but I'm still highly favored, beautiful, and blessed. And I don't have no desire to get dressed today, so I wasn't getting ready to get on here and make up myself for y'all. I brushed my teeth, I washed my face, I had a shower before I went to bed last night. That's all that mattered to me. I gotta clean my fucking drawers on, my ass is clean, my butthole smell good. Yep, I'm good, check, you know what I mean? So anyway, you understand what I'm saying? If y'all go to my other live, where I was explaining when I was going through one of my deep depression. Well, it wasn't a depression, because depression and going through a darkness is two different things. When I was going through my deepest, darkest moment of my life, which I got a full understanding the difference between having a dark moment and having depression, and my hair fell out really bad. I ain't had no locks. I had a low afro, and I had about 6, 7, 8 locks that was hanging on to a strand, and I show y'all that. And yeah, I had to go back. I had to get back grounded into what was instilled in me from birth. Like, I have a praying family. I have a strong bloodline of females in our family that's from light and dark. Like, I come from a good bloodline that understands it all. Like, the whole spirituality thing, witchcraft, voodoo, Hinduism, Buddhism. Like, my grandmother alone, just one elder in my family has traveled. She's an educator herself. She, in this 3D realm, she has degrees in political science. And if you know what political science, that's the study of like economics and the world and things like that, of all things, social studies of all things. And she's has a doctorate degree in political science. My mother's mother at that. Shout out to her, because that's one of my favorite people that I love to talk to when I need advice for school and for as spirituality. And it's funny, because my grandmother, when I was in college getting my degrees for education, and I started learning so much about history, and I started questioning shit. I'm like, well, why we read the Bible? Because these motherfuckers out here lying to us. Why they ain't tell us that was in the Bible, especially British literature? I'm like, why they ain't tell us that shit is in the Bible? I read that. And I went to start, when I would go on trips and vacations and stuff, I would be seeing different things and learning different things. Like, for instance, when we went to go see my son down at the Great Lakes, and we traveled over to Chicago to go to the torture museum, and it was like all these things that they were showing from, the Dark Ages, and it was supposed to be in the Dark Age time, and I'm like, I read that shit in the Bible. That right there was in the Bible. So I started questioning religion, and I remember talking to my grandmother saying, "Listen, I don't think I want to be Christian no more. Like, there's somebody lying." And so I'm starting to see the lies, like, and I started going down these rabbit holes. And my grandmother, I said, I was going to become Muslim. I said, I'm about to go take me a shahada. I want to be the closest religion that it is to the Most High. I want to be in the truth. And my grandmother said to me, she said, before you go changing religions or picking any religions, this is what I want you to do. Before you walk and graduate, I want you to take some religion classes. I want you to take world religion 1 and 2. I want you to take African religion, all that. She said, and when you're done, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to ask you now, but I'm going to ask you a question because I want to see the answer. And I said, okay. And she said, so the day that you walk out your classes, tell me about that. And I said, okay, so I was going to wait till I got over to the university. Got back to the university for a different, to hire my degree because I was getting ready to walk for another degree. And when it came time to get ready to graduate and stuff, and it was summer coming, my advisor, I was like taking so many classes. You technically only supposed to take like 4 to 6 classes per semester. I was taking like 8 and 9 classes because I wanted to graduate so fast, and I was doing the celebrated class. Like, they had to override my shit every semester because I'm like, listen, I want to get it done and over with, and my brain works so fast that I can retain information and learn so much at one time that I'm just like, listen, let's get this shit out of the way because I got a purpose and some places to get. You get what I'm saying? So when that summer came, I was burnt out. And my advisor says, oh, well, the university wants you to take another literature class. And I'm like, man, I done took like several. Like, what they want? I done took children's lit. I done took British lit. I done took English lit. I done took, in British lit, I was mad because I thought I was only going to learn about Shakespeare. And then I started learning about Marcus Twain. And I started learning about the Renaissance times. And but I was grateful because it taught me a lot, and I started going down these rabbit holes in college, opened up my mind to like start researching and question things. So I'm like, what they want now? And I feel like I done took every literature class. And she was like, I don't know, let's see what they got. So I said, well, is music considered literature? And she goes, yeah. I said, well, let me take that because it's about to be sometime and I want to be done. Like, and she said, okay. So she looked for that. She said, well, they don't give out music for the summer. You're going to have to take something else. So I was like, they don't even have it online. And she's like, no, which I hated online classes. But if I had to get something out the way, I would take them to Accelerate. However I had to get it done, I would just adapt to the environment and get it done. I never opted out of like, oh, no, I'll wait till next semester. No, I was knocking it out. So I forget what other literature class I asked about, and she said, no, they don't have that until the fall semester either. So I said, well, what do they have? And she looked it up. She said, oh, they got World Religion 1 and 2. And I bust out laughing. I said, oh, you got jokes. You always got jokes. And she said, why you talking to yourself? I said, because I was just talking to my grandmom yesterday about something else. And she just was telling me that I need to take religion class to understand something. That's so funny how that's the only thing y'all have available for me in the summer. And she was like, and you got to do it online. I'm like, all right, cool. So when I took religion, that's when the open entry said, is religion or spirituality the same? That was like our first test. And we had to read the introduction of the World Religion book, which I have up there because I kept a lot of my books from teaching and things like that, from all the things that I went to school for. And I went to school for several things. I obtained 3 degrees. And I said, and for me, I've always looked at spirituality being something different from religion. Religion is something that I feel like man has created and made to obtain a congregation and to control the narrative for people. But spirituality is when you have a direct connection to the Most High, and the Most High is guiding you and leading you, and you're understanding, and overstanding life on so many aspects and so many levels of life that you're able to see and understand all things and not be biased. Whereas religion teaches you to be boxed in and to judge anything outside of that box without ever making connection and understanding that we're all one is all. So that's what I wrote on my test, and of course I got an A. And when we started learning religion. We learned about like 164 different religions, and we learned about the 9 basic ones that are practiced between, Western and Eastern worlds and all that stuff. And the 5 basic ones, which is, Christianity, Islam, Hindu, Buddhism, and what is it? Hebrew, the Torah, or whatever the case may be, Jewish or whatever you want to call that. So those were the 5 basic ones that's practiced amongst most nations, and then you have 9, all together that's highly practiced around the world. But there's like 164 and more, and just different deviations and denominations. But when I started learning all this shit was saying the same shit. Even when I got the book of secret, like on this side, I have on this bookshelf. I have a lot of kid books and stuff from the time my children were born up until they, stopped getting books. But I have a lot of things about, spirituality, all kinds of stuff, voodoo, Hindu, all kinds of stuff that I learned on my own. Card readings about how to do cards, the book of spells, all kinds of things. And over here, I have on this shelf, I have the Book of Secret. On one of these shelves, I have like many different, outside of the school books, I have a lot of different religion, actual books like the Torah, the Quran, the Bible, all that stuff. And over here, I have a lot of different spiritual and natural books, understanding the mind, the body, dark consciousness, understanding how the central nerve system work, hormones. I had a lot of books that I got off of Audible, and then I got kicked off Audible. That's another story, but I wound up getting it back. But it's funny because I was glad I had all those books. Even though all those books came back on my Audible, I was glad that I had them written down because I was able to order those books and add to my collection. But, a lot of books, and the one book is The Secret, and I know a lot of y'all heard about The Secret, and for a long time, it took me a long time to read The Secret because every time I would pick up The Secret, I was like, it'd be saying the same thing that the Bible's saying. I just don't, like, and I would get so turned off with things that said the same thing as the Bible, because I'm like, if I wanted to understand that, then I could have just read the Bible. But I was being biased and I was being short-minded. And then when I started opening up my mind, like, okay, let me understand what is the secret teaching me. Basically, the secret is when you are thinking about your chakras and aligning your chakras and your kundalini line and all that, your snake, which that is the symbol for the Red Cross and Blue Shield, because you have a kundalini, the energy that wraps up around. That is how your DNA and all that stuff is made. And when I started understanding, like, the reason why the secret or science or Hindu and all that stuff is saying what it's saying, for as speak those, watch, be careful what you say, think it. If you can see it, you can obtain it. If you think it and speak it, you can bring it to you, like about quantum leap and dimension jumping and all that stuff. And then when you get to scripture says the same thing on the spiritual, like the secret and chakras and Hindu, like most of these religions are teaching you things from a science point of view, and then you have other religions that are teaching you from a spiritual point of view, but it's all the same if we think about how energy works and how vibes are. It's the same shit, because then when you read scripture says the tongue is the most powerful muscle on the earth. It can speak life, it can speak that, speak those things as if they are. Be careful what you wish for, speak it into existence. If you think it, you can see it, you got to obtain it, speak it into existence, and thank them. That's it. Just know that it's done, just know that it's written, just know, write it down. You are allowed to partition the Most High. You are allowed to speak curses, because listen, if I read a curse here, if I read some of the curses that David spoke against his enemies, he wasn't asking for the Most High to protect them. Yeah, he was asking the Most High to protect him from his enemies and protect his enemies from him, and some of if you read the book of Psalms, and some of his prayers and curses that were sent out to his enemies, yeah, they were with grace, and some of them were directly just to protect him against them. But then there were other ones where he was sending out, vengeance, sending out all kinds of, spells, and was asking the Most High, show it shall be done. He didn't have to get his hands bloody at all. He was connecting with the source. Look, you see, they try to stop me from doing your word. You said you control all this down here. So since you control all this, and you said if you're with me, who can be before me? Yeah, this is what they doing, this is what I want done, make it happen. And boom, it was happening. You get what I'm saying? That's how David was undefeated. That's how Saul was undefeated. That's how say Solomon was undefeated. That's how Samson. That's how some of these men in the Bible were defeated. So, it was like I started understanding like, oh, science and spirituality is telling you the same thing. If you think it, if you see it, if you feel it, you gotta believe it. Because even also in scripture it says a weary man deserves nothing from me. If you question yourself or you doubt yourself, you ain't getting nothing. You gotta stand 10 on what I'm saying and what you believe. So I started learning that, like, dang, all these things are saying the same thing. Just like I taught y'all the last time of what crystals mean. Crystals are spoken of in the Bible, but not in the sense of how you use them in witchcraft, because you still can use the crystals in the same way, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to alchemize. You're supposed to alchemize. Use the elements to alchemize or whatever, and you're supposed to praise and worship the Most High and be grateful for Him giving you the elements to alchemize. You're not supposed to be using the elements to manipulate the narratives of taking people choices and sending harm out to them by using the power of the minerals, because that's why things are sent back to people and things like that, because they're manipulating and taking people choice away. Whereas the Most High, the one thing that He always promised the people, that He would never take their choice away. So when people are manipulating the materials versus alchemizing, that's the difference between spirituality and witchcraft. So people praise these things and do all the things that keep them cleansed and all that stuff, where in scripture it tells you, like, I have the charts here. And again, like I taught y'all on my last slide, when I felt the spirit move over me, of the 12 tribes, and what each crystal represent, and what the 12 stones of the highest priestess breastplates, and why they had crystals on their breastplates and what they represented. Each stone represented the tribe of Israel. They have the name of what it meant in the Hebrew stone, and then they have the modern day name, and then they have the symbolic meaning. Like, I'll give y'all one, like a diamond. It was for the tribe of Zubalam, and the Hebrew name word for it was Yeholam. But the modern stone name is diamond. And the symbolic meaning is purity, strength, preservance. You get what I'm saying? So, these things, and the book of Jeremiah teach you that. That's how I learned about, these things when I was, riding on the cliff of spirituality and witchcraft. And the Most High was like, yeah, I'm going to need you to go read the book of Jeremiah, and need you to get grounded, because you about to send some curses on yourself if you think you about to play, because you chosen, you marked, and you about to, don't make me send a Uno reverse. You get what I'm saying? So I had to learn a lot or whatever to understand. So I started learning, like, all this shit is one and one is all, and it's saying the same shit, but it starts here. But I'm gonna go, because I don't want to burn y'all out, because I burnt myself out and I'm very tired from this. Let me see. I pray, I'm gonna get up out of here. I pray everybody stay focused, positive, and productive. I pray that y'all have a hedge of protection over yourselves, over your individual bodies, and the vehicles that y'all travel in, making sure you get to and from your journey safely, giving y'all grace, mercy, and longevity over your lives. Remember, stay highly favored, handsome, beautiful, and blessed. Remember, stay focused, positive, and productive. God dang. And don't let my bad, that was a technical difficulty. My shit was vibrating and dip. Remember, it's only a moment. It's not the rest of the day, it's not the rest of the week, it's not the rest of the year. This too, whatever you're going to, that too, this too shall pass. Remember, don't let people make you feel how you don't want to feel. They are not your creator. You are who you are because the Most High deemed you and named you who you are. The Most High is with you, who can be before you. So, like I always tell y'all, get your ass up in that mirror. That's your all. That's your ass off. That's your shoulder off. Fix yourself. Fix your collar. Wash your face, put some oil on your face. You get what I'm saying? And get out here and get them people hell. Get them the hell, same hell back that they was giving to you by being successful, by walking in your power, by walking in your truth. You know what I'm saying? Put some oil on your face, because you ain't supposed to look like what you going through. Scripture tell y'all that too, but I get there. All the stuff that I tell y'all, scripture say, I'm going to teach y'all. I'm going to teach y'all along the way. So, yeah, don't You don't have to look like what you're going through. You know what I mean? Just trust the process. You know, I gotta trust my process like I trust this lock journey. Okay, because you know what I'm saying, that is my stuff was hanging on to a strand and a prayer. So I'ma trust. You know, the Most High, like I trust that olive oil that I read in the Bible that He said was gonna help heal my hair and stuff like that when they was hanging on to a strand in a prayer. That's how much faith I got right now. Cause if y'all go down that live, y'all see it was literally a strand in a prayer I had afro, and y'all see my locks. So yeah, redirect yourself, correct yourself, check yourself, get back out there. Make sure you're walking in your purpose, walking in your truth. Don't let the world give you shame or guilt because your experiences is to help be a blueprint and a roadmap to somebody else seeing the light. Okay? Don't let people make you feel, because at the end of the day, we're all out here trying to figure it out. And to be honest, half these people don't like their fucking self. Okay? Or they got to use other people's energy to make them feel good about themselves. So don't let nobody tell you who the fuck you are. The Most High told you who you are. So peace, love, blessings. Gotta go. Bye bye. I was on here for way too long. That one got good.